Have you ever been there and wondered what laws govern me as an employee or you as an employer? Have you ever wondered whether you own a parastatal or you're a CEO or you're just a cleaner or anyone in the middle? I'm here to talk to you about what laws govern you as an employee or as an employer of your parastatal, of your organization, of your private business. So let's go. I'd like to also state that we have what's called sick leave or sick pay and also maternity leave or maternity pay. We look at in the Employment Act of Uganda 2006, we have what is called sick pay. So like we all know, we are all human beings, and in many situations we all get sick. You could get severe flu. In today's world, you can get COVID, you can get cancer, you can get anything. So the Employment Act of Uganda 2006 provides for sick pay and for how an employee should be paid when they are sick. It states that the moment someone has finished 1 month, or the moment someone is within a month of being sick, when they are still being employed or under a contract of service, then they are still entitled to full pay or full payment of their salary or wages. However, under subsection 2, still of section 55, it states that the moment someone or an employee has been paid for that 1 month, full payment and full wage, then they cross into the second month of being sick. The moment the second month is done and there is still no formal communication, or the employer is seeing that the person who they employed is not going to make it back to work after the second month, then the employer has a right to terminate their contract, because then that means that the person is not doing what they had contracted with the employer to do. When you look at section 23, it states that whatever contract of service or an employment contract that is not in line with what the employment contract says or what is stated down in the Employment Act as to how a contract of service should be stated is not enforceable and is therefore void ab initio. I have talked about void ab initio on this channel. These are legal terms that us lawyers use. We call ourselves land fellows and we like to just use these terms. However, this is simply legal and we like to simplify the law for you creatively. Void ab initio means that something was not in existence from the beginning. It missed certain requirements and terms for which it should have been there for it to be a whole and for it to be legally acceptable. So that is legality number one. It should be in line with the Employment Act of Uganda 2006. Now, in accordance with section 25, another legality is any contract of service should be either oral or written. That is actually something I did not mention earlier in the definition of a contract of service. A contract of service should be oral or written, implied or expressed, and therefore a person is working for a certain remuneration or a wage. So a contract of service must be either oral or written, meaning we can agree, me and you can agree that, you know, you should be providing for me this service, I'm going to be employing you and you're going to be doing this kind of work for me, and you agree, I pay you at a certain time. However, I have handled contracts on this channel before. The best way to have any enforceable contract is for it to be written, and therefore it can be enforceable in court. Otherwise, it will be very, very hard for you to prove anything in court. Let's go to number 3. We have what's called attestation. Attestation it mainly applies to people who do not understand the English language. In other words, when someone is being employed, especially in a foreign country, let's say a Congolese person is being employed here in Uganda, then there has to be an attestation document, and that document should be produced either by a magistrate or the office of a magistrate or a judge. Reason for this is because for a document to be attested, it should be official. So attestation is also another requirement, just in case someone does not know English or does not know the official language in a certain country. And this being Uganda, our official language is English. So let's go to the other legal requirements. Still on the point of attestation, I wanted to also say that in accordance with section 26, attestation legally means that someone who is entering into a contract of service does not understand or cannot understand or read or write the language in which the contract of service is being written. So in other words, if a person, let's say in Lira, it doesn't even have to be a foreign person, a person who is in Lira, a person who is in Kapchora, who may not understand English, who cannot read or write English, a document will be attested or it will be an attestation document will be produced by a magistrate or an officer in charge of an attestation document. So this basically means that this will have to be drawn up by anyone in higher power. In any higher judicial officer will have to write a magistrate, in most cases a magistrate, or even a judge in very extreme cases. So an attestation document is very, very important to help someone who is entering into a contract of service to understand what they are entering into. So in most cases this will be entered to in their local language or in other cases. So let's go to the other legal issues. So therefore, let us also go to wages. Every employer, in accordance with Section 40, Seal of the Employment Act 2006, has a duty to employ or to give duties to their employees. This should have been stipulated from word go in relation to the employment of service. Remember, I told you a contract of service should either be oral or written, implied or expressed. So therefore, when I am working for you as an employee and you're the employer, I should know my parameters. I should know where my work starts, what my duties are. So in other words, for me to earn your wages, I must do the duties that you, the employer, are giving me in relation to Section 40. Therefore, there are certain situations where I may not be able to do the work diligently, or I may not be able to carry my duties in relation to the time I'm supposed to be given. These are what we call exceptions or unavoidable circumstances. These look at things like accidents, a force majeure, which means an act of God, meaning maybe the weather could have stopped me from doing the work. Imagine I'm not a delivery person. I'm supposed to deliver your goods from Makerere Chikoni up to Katosi, as if you're going to Mukono. For those of you who don't know Uganda very well, Makerere is in the heart of Kampala and Katosi is as you're going to Mukono. So if I'm trying to deliver your goods and we're running a delivery company and I'm your employee, if I do not deliver your goods in time just because of thunder and a very heavy storm and maybe floods, then those are exceptional circumstances under which I could not do the work diligently. There I still deserve wages, don't I? So let us also go to the wages part of an employee. An employee is entitled to receiving wages under the Employment Act 2006. All the employment laws in Uganda are mainly governed by the Employment Act of Uganda 2006. The other laws like the Health and Safety Hazards Act or the Health and Safety Act all come in later on, and I'll do other videos concerning employment laws. Guys, the employment laws are so many. Employment is such a wide topic and all of us are employed in different aspects. Not every employment contract is going to be formal under parastatal or UNRA or URA. These can even be casual laborers in Fresh Dairy or Dairy Fresh or Bidco Uganda. So everyone is working for a wage. So every employee is entitled to a wage. So I wanted to make you guys understand all of this before we go to the rights and duties of an employer and an employee. So let's go. We also look at the exceptional circumstances of the death of an employee. What happens when you're working under Fresh Dairy like I did in 2012? Or what happens when you die as an employee? Whatever happens to the amount of wage or the amount of money or salary that the institution owed you before you died, or the private organization you're working for? This is very simple. According to Section 42, it states that the moment you as an employee you die, or an employee dies in general, then all the wages or all the salary that was owed to you by the company, or if you died before your time of salary is being paid, then your legal representatives or your heir are the ones who are going to benefit from your remuneration or your wage. So this basically means that your salary will not be eaten by the company. So guys, don't worry about it. These companies are very formal. They're very, they're people who are actually sane and have hearts. So these are going to be paid to your legal representatives or your heir. A legal representative can be someone who runs your estate or runs whatever money was owed to you. So in case you're wondering what happens, then that's exactly what happens. In accordance with the rights and duties of an employee, we'll look at Section 51. Let's look at the working hours of an employee. An employee, in accordance with Section 51 of the Employment Act 2006, should not work for more than 48 hours. And more so should not work for more than 6 days a week. Most government bodies or most working places all over Kampala or in Uganda give people a working days of 5 days. Let's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Some of them extend into Saturday, but you should not exceed 6 days. This is because even the Employment Act, the framers of this act believed that people should be able to rest. People should be able to go and relax and do other things. So 7 days a week would not give someone any time to rest. That is why even the good Lord gave us Sunday to rest. So that is it, guys.
So if we solve the problem of the cost of money, the cost of transport, and the cost of electricity, we can now confront our people with confidence. So now that you have got lower this and lower that, you can put up the salaries without too much risk. But just talking like that, the electricity costs are still high, transport costs are still high, the cost of money is still high. Then you say, oh, please, please, please.